Alrighty. So hello and welcome everybody. I'm so glad to have you all here today in our Friday Fireside Chat. I am Ludmila Frank. I'm the event coordinator for Foreign-Born Military Spouses Network, where we are all dedicated in connecting, supporting, and empowering military spouses, foreign-born military spouses. The Foreign-Born Military Spouses Network was born in response of spouses like us who is uh, who is brings incredible strength, talent, and also um, resilience to all of our military families. But many of us face very unique challenges such as immigration, unemployment, or underemployment, who stays far away from their families, from all the support systems, while they may be living in different country. Many are highly educated, as I mentioned, but they also have challenges with employment or unemployment. We all speak several languages, but many times we are unheard. We give so much to our military families and communities, but we often left out of the communication on national TVs when they're speaking about military life. FMSN exists to change all of this. We offer training, we offer resources, mentorship, and advocacy, but most of all, we offer community. A place when everybody can feel seen, heard, and supported. A place to grow both personally and professionally wherever your journey begins. So, thank you again for being here tonight with us and for helping us to build something powerful in all together. Okay? And before we begin, during the presentation, if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat or you can send them to us after event via email info@fbmnetwork.com, and Fadua will be posting it in the chat, so please check that as well. And now I am excited to present our speakers for tonight's event, Leslie and Tracy from American Corporate Partners. Thank you so much being here tonight with us, and thank you for everything you do for military community, military spouses, active duty members, and also their families. Again, thank you. And now the floor is yours. I will start my sharing, and you can share your presentation.
Thank you, Mila. It's a pleasure to be here, Lydia Padua. It's so good to see your faces. Congratulations, Lydia, on your Stand 2 class of 2025 cohort. What an amazing opportunity. So we're excited to see where you go from here. I'm Tracy Sharman. I'm the Senior Manager of ACP's Military Spouse Program. And with me is Leslie. I'll let her introduce herself.
Good evening, depending on your time zone. I'm Leslie Coffey. I'm the VP of Military Engagement for ACP. I am a veteran spouse, and my service member wrapped up 30 years. So if you're in the Army branch, I can assist in any way. And then I'm also an alumna of the program. That's the whole reason that I joined the team, is because of my mentor completely changed my career trajectory. So we're really excited to help more of my peers. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie. So I'm also a military spouse. My husband retired after 28 years of service. It's hard to believe that it's already been 8 years since he's been out of the military. You are one of almost 1 million military spouses out there trying to fight for a role and a place in a new country. We want to make sure that you know there's military resources out there as well as corporate support. So ACP is here for that. Can you all see my screen? Am I sharing? No, let me try
Yeah,
again.
it was temporarily and then it paused.
Let's see. How's that?
Perfect.
Okay, good. So ACP was founded in 2008. Our founder was a New Yorker, Wall Street guy, was never in the military, but after 9/11 saw the need to help support returning veterans, to help them integrate back into into the workforce. Leslie, as she mentioned, had this on, at first the program was only open to veterans. And then in 2018, it was open to military spouses. And Leslie has a good story about that. She actually had a timer on her clock, on her watch, so that she could apply the moment it came open. So we've helped over 38,000 veterans and military spouses to date. And this year we were recognized with a Citizen Honors Award from the National Congressional Medal Society, which was a huge honor. One of the things that we're really proud of is our satisfaction rate of 98%. And this mentorship is customized and it's one-to-one. So we take a lot of pride. It's a very labor-intensive process matching you with the right person. And that's where I think the magic happens. Our magic is also in our high caliber of corporate mentors. So mentors at ACP are working industry professionals, so they're subject matter experts. And 65% of our mentors come from these corporations. Now, you may not have any interest in going to work for a large corporation. My mentor was from FactSet. She was a practicing attorney, and I didn't think we would have anything in common. But what she was able to do was help me refine my job search because I was applying for everything everywhere. So, over 250 job applications, just and daily rejections, multiple rejections. So she really helped me refine my search, target a company, and then develop a message that I wanted to share. She also introduced me to people. And without that network, I don't know where I'd be because she introduced me to people who were doing what I wanted to do. She introduced me to people in my area that were at companies that I was interested in, and it really opened up a lot of doors. And so I think that's where our mentorship is a little bit different than other programs in that they're working individuals who are subject matter experts and there to assist you. You're also, we'll go into the details a little bit more about the mentorship, but this is about 65% of our mentors come from corporations. Some of us aren't interested in working for corporations. I think Vado was just talking about working in the nonprofit space and with military spouses, since we're just such a great bunch. And we work with nonprofits as well. So our mentors come from here, and then 30 to 35% come from government, small business, healthcare, education. So we have something for everyone. We've seen zoologists get matched up. We have attorneys that are being matched up and changing fields and pivoting. So there is truly something for everyone here. And then I think the fact that we do match you and we stay with you, so you're assigned a personal contact at ACP that will help you find resources and keep your mentorship on track. So they'll be checking in with you monthly to see how the mentorship's going, which is really important. And they're the ones, your ACP contact, that's going to have those resources that you need. So say you're looking for free certification or some reciprocity agreements between states or countries, they can help you find those resources, those military resources that your mentor's not necessarily going to have. Only a third of our mentors have served, and so the majority are private citizens and not familiar with the military speak. So it's good to have that resource. We work with, I don't know how many of you have all heard of these, but like Hiring Our Heroes, Hire Heroes USA, Veteran Military Spouse Network. There's so many of them out there, and we want to say that you can use all of them at the same time. You can get benefits from each one, and they each specialize in something different. So we have over 125 corporate partners, and over 3,000 people gained meaningful employment last year, which is remarkable. So we have, 3,000 proteges obtained meaningful employment last year. And although we only have 125 corporations that are our sponsors, we had over 1,800 companies hire those 3,000 people. So as you can see, our reach is vast. We also do resume releases quarterly, and your mentor can help you get your resume up to date. Our average job retention compared to other veterans is much higher. And you all know that you don't want to be doing this again. Once you land somewhere, it's nice to settle in. ACP is super fantastic at matching. It's kind of like You ever watch a Wall Street movie and you see Trading Day when they're on the floor and they're fighting and handing papers back and forth? That's the way our ACP operations associates do that. They're fighting for their protege, they're fighting for their mentor, they want to make the best match. And it can be based on lots of different things. So it can be based on, it's usually not based on geography, but we're so good at what we do. We've been doing it for almost 20 years. It's labor intensive, and they're asking you questions as they're interviewing you and from your application that really helps them align you with the best type of person, the best type of mentor. We find a lot of our military spouses, especially because of those career gaps, have a lack of professional confidence. And I think that a mentor can really help you build that back up and build that professional network, which is just priceless. So mentors can help with so many different things: resume, career exploration, getting that LinkedIn profile up to date, networking, and then the professional development. So if you're from Italy, let's say, and you have a law degree and you're trying to figure out how to make that work here, you know, your mentor may not be from Italy, but they're in that field and they can definitely connect you with somebody that could take you to the next step. And that's what we like to really stress, is that not only do you have your mentor and your ACP point of contact, but you also have their points of contact. And so it's really important that you advocate for yourself and try and figure out, even if it's with your ACP contact, what it is that you're looking for, and not be afraid to ask. I know it's difficult and we may not feel like we're worthy, or that, you know, we're skilled enough to ask, or it's a bit intimidating, but you're going to get the most out of this if you know what you want to get out of it. And so working through that with your ACP contact is really helpful. I know I could have taken even more advantage of the program, even though it was just an hour a month. When I needed my mentor most, and that was when I was in the interview process, we would email back and forth. She would review my decks. She did a mock interview with me. She helped me negotiate my salary. It was phenomenal. And what she did was she told me, and this is great salary advice. I had a range in mind, and she said, "Well, will you be happy if they give you that?" And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "Well, then make the top your bottom and go 20% higher," because then you're not going to feel like they're getting you for a deal. And that was really good advice. Talked to another ACP protege. Her mentor was the communications director for the Cincinnati Bengals. And she said that she was already in a role trying to figure out how to get promoted. Being a mill spouse, she I had a light bulb moment with her, because she talked about having all these individual contributor roles and being more task oriented than leadership oriented. And so her mentor really helped her shift her thinking about the way she was working and networking at work, and helped her get to the next level at her workplace. So 98% of our spouses would recommend this program. And that says a lot. Our biggest referrals come from our proteges that have went through the program. So when they started the program, 29% confidence in their career path. When they finish, it's 89%, which is phenomenal. And that's exactly what we're shooting for. So being a good protege, it doesn't come naturally to most, especially if this isn't your native home, your native language. I have a friend from China, and she told me, and it's really hit home to me. She said, "Tracy, you would think I was so much funnier if you knew Chinese," because she couldn't express herself the way she wanted to. I lived at Incirlik in Adana, Turkey for a year, and I know how frustrating it could be to try and say something or be part of something and not be able to express yourself the way you want to. And so, like I said, with the matching, you can request a mentor based on language, ethnicity, roles, careers, industry. So we may not have it. It may take a little longer, but you can definitely make your request known. One of the things that helped me with a mentor was being open to feedback and having that accountability buddy. So if I'm sitting alone behind my computer, applying for jobs all day, it's very isolating, and you can kind of get lost in the weeds. So she, like I said, helped me refine that, but then also helped me just do things that would build my confidence. So, okay, you applied to this and would talk me through why I was right for that role instead of, why they rejected me, which is what I would dwell on. So that was super helpful. Um, Different cultures speak differently to somebody that they see in an authority figure. And so we like to think of our mentor not as an authority figure, but as a partner. And you're here to drive your own career. And they can be really useful and very agreeable. They actually like it when you take charge. And don't ever feel like you're wasting a mentor's time. They're here for you. So many of these mentors, especially our ones from our corporate partners, are being paid. This is during their work day. They get credit for their volunteer service. So don't ever feel like you're wasting a mentor's time. They're here to give back. And my mentor couldn't have been, she was happier, I think, than my husband when I landed my job. So they're there. It's a mutual exchange of goodness, and they want to see you succeed. Leslie, do you have anything to add on how to be a good mentor or a good protege? Excuse me.
I think you had everything on point. The biggest thing is, and I'll tell you what I went through as a protege, I felt like I would be wasting their time. And because it's one-to-one, they're only volunteering for no other reason than to see you succeed. That's why I'm volunteering for my protege. I want nothing more than to see her succeed, and I'm very fortunate that she is. But again, we don't give them anybody else to focus on. It's one-to-one. So we're sharing that now, so you don't do what I did. I thought that, and so I would delay my calls and I would postpone them because I didn't want to waste her time. Where at the end of the day, I was getting in my own way, and I was of her the one thing she was trying to do, which was trying to help, and it was because I couldn't get out of my own way. So I would say you're worthy, and hat tip for being here this evening or whatever time zone it is for you, because you're taking that time to invest in yourself, and this is an investment of time, not money. It's a free program, but it is an investment of time to put your goals first.
Thank you for saying that, Leslie. That reminded me of feeling kind of deficient, being more seasoned in my career, and looking for a mentor felt kind of weird. And when I met my mentor and we were going through my interview process, she was also going through her interview process. She was taking on a new role. And she said that she sent her deck to two mentors. And I said, "You have two mentors?" And she said, "Yeah, why wouldn't I? Smart people seek out smart people." So she really gave me permission to help myself and to know that, you're not deficient. If you need someone to support you, you're actually, ahead of the game, and you're going to get a better perspective and get further ahead. Let's see. So how do you get
Tracy,
started?
if I can add just a little bit on how to be a good mentee or
Yes.
protege, something that I did not know or just had this block in my mind was, as you guys have said and other people too, I'm not worthy of their time. They might not even, what am I going to offer them? How am I going to benefit from this? Why would they choose me? All those questions that prevent you from doing anything. But I was lucky, and then after that, in our first meeting, uh, it was easier when we had just an open discussion. Who is Lydia and who is this other person? What do I come with? And I'm at least sharing what is my expectation and what I think I want out of this. And then being able to say, I'm shy. I am introverted. I am. So even if I'm not reaching out to you, it doesn't mean I don't want to, or it doesn't mean I might be just going through a few things in my brain, thinking that I don't need to reach out to you or you reach out to me first. All these things, and so exploring those with a mentor during your first call, getting to know each other is very important. So they know who you are and how you approach life, your worldview, and other things that would make that mentorship relationship better for you. And as Tracy said, I don't think you're stuck with one person. So yeah, I think she will probably get to that. But please take advantage of that opportunity in the first call to just lay it bare, because a closed mouth doesn't get fed. I will always say that every day. Make sure that someone knows who you are so they're able to meet your needs.
Lydia, I'd like to piggyback on that if I could, just about my first call with both my proteges. So my current first call, just like you said, really just getting to know them. But during that conversation, I was able to tell like when her face lit up, when her eyes lit up, when she talked about certain things. And that was honestly part of our career exploration. When I saw her light up, that I was like, okay, you got to work with kids. Because whenever she talked about kids, boom, her eyes lit up. She read 150 books last year. And so I was like, okay, why don't we combine kids and reading and get a position based on your background, your skills? And there's a great book out there if you're interested in called Designing Your Life from Stanford engineers. Anyhow, today she's working in a great capacity. We landed her a position and helped her through salary negotiation and everything with United Through Reading. If you've never heard of United Through Reading, of course, it is about deployed service members. Before they deploy, they record a story that they read for their kiddos before they go on a ship, before they deploy overseas, anything like that. So we were able to combine the loves of books and kiddos. So again, that first conversation, just being yourself, just, sharing your expressions, sharing your backgrounds, your pivots. And then it's just as important to share what you don't like too, because you can eliminate the positions you don't want to go towards. Like that's a huge time saver. I just wanted to share like how important it is for them to get to know you, your family. If you're stuck and you're frustrated and you're just getting crickets, that's totally okay, because the more vulnerable you are, then the more they can, and you allow them to pour into you, then the more they understand exactly what they're working with and can give guidance, because chances are they've been stuck. They've had crickets for responses. They've not known what they want to do next. And so they can kind of pull from their toolkit.
See how amazing Leslie is as a mentor. She's not in, publication or kids or reading or books, but she knows where to send our proteges and how to connect them with people. One thing that really hit home what you said, Leslie, my daughter's a board certified behavior analyst. So she works with kids on the spectrum and she's a supervisor. So her camera's off. She's usually, giving feedback and watching sessions happen. She'd been working with this family for over a year and her camera was off. When they had a face-to-face meeting and an issue came up, the woman said, I don't even know who Madison is. And Madison had been working with them for a year, but she'd never seen her face. And it's so important, even if you don't feel like, I think you look your best, it's nice to have that camera on. So like Leslie said, they can see what lights you up and help guide you in the right direction. I love that book idea. When my husband was deployed, they gave each of the girls a bear with a little camo vest, and they all called them dads. All three bears were dad. It's kind of silly. So super easy to apply. I think I'm still sharing my screen, yes? Okay, good. You fill out the app, and Leslie put the application link in the chat box. Within 24 hours, a real person will call you back. So this is very personal. It's very human touch. It's not automated at all. We're going to call you back within 24 hours and say, hey, I'm so glad that you applied, Lydia. How about we set up a time to talk? And so we can get to know you a little bit better. And when that happens, you're going to call into ACP. And we can't stress this enough, how difficult that may be to be the first one to initiate that call. But you're calling into ACP. They're talking to 38,000 people since our inception, and they're going to be gentle with you. And they just want to get to know you so that they can make the best match for you. It's a brief conversation. It's over the phone most of the time, or you can do Zoom, but it's a phone call, right, Leslie? Mine was a phone call. I think that's normal?
Oh, yes, when you were very first talking, foot stomping what Tracy said. We'll email back and forth and you tell us when's a good time to chat. We need maybe, 15 minutes. To be honest with you, sometimes they go into 30. It depends on how 30% of our staff are spouses, by the way. So y'all might start talking about spouse life. But I'd say 15 to 30 minutes, I'd block off your calendar. And if you agree, hey, next Tuesday at 2 o'clock is a good time to talk. Whatever time you agree upon in the email, it will be bolded. And this is where folks get tripped up. You have to call into us at that time. We don't call out on the initial, onboarding call. And honestly, it's by design because our mentors are volunteers, they're higher level, and we want to ensure that you're going to show up for the mentor calls. If they're taking time out of their workday to connect with you and help you, we want to make sure. So that's kind of part of that process, just to make sure you're showing up for that, and also attention to detail in that email.
Yeah, that's a great point, Leslie. And so after they speak with you, they are sometimes before they even speak with you, they have a few mentors in mind on who they think would be a good connection. And so that's when the pairing process happens. And they're going to send a mentor a brief summary about you. You're going to get a brief summary about the mentor. So everybody, it's very transparent. And then you have the opportunity to do an introductory call. Well, you will do an introductory call with the mentor. And I want to say 98% of the time it's a hit. Like sometimes it really does feel like you've known this person your whole life. That's the way I felt with my mentor. Just fell right into a groove. And one of the best things that we did from that first introductory meeting was say, okay, when's a good time for you? We'll plan, like I know Thursdays work for you between 10 and 12. Just try and get a framework of when's a good time to meet. And then if you guys decide to move forward, you'll set up together that meeting time once a month, 1 hour a month, for 1 year. And let me see. There was one other thing I wanted to say about that. If it's not a match, let's say, you swiped right and it's not a good fit, they can rematch you with someone, but most of the time it really is a great match. And they're going to follow you and check in with you. So that ACP contact is there. It's not like we're just going to assign you a mentor and then good luck, see you later. We're checking in by email and making sure that you have everything that you need to make this successful. Let me make sure. Okay, good. So we also, for people interested in starting their own business, we have ACP Ventures. And this is a best-in-class resource provided by our corporate partners that provide courses and webinars and podcasts, everything under the sun about how to have your own business. And this was started because a veteran reached out to our founder who had lost everything because he didn't know what he was getting into when he started his own business. And basically, mortgaged the house and hired people and then was hurt and was unable to sustain the business. So his idea was to have a resource for people to help them navigate that and make sure that they were that they knew what they were getting into. And so it's also, there's like a Reddit thread component to it where you can ask questions on demand and connect with experts and other entrepreneurs who are going through the same thing you are. I know that's like super helpful when we were starting our business because there's some things that you do and you're like, oh, I wish I could share this with someone so they wouldn't have to go through this, pain of what I just went through. And this is a great place for that. And so this is it. This is where you go. You can scan the QR code, and we really encourage you to apply. I wrote in the chat, if you've applied before, we're opening up the opportunity, or if you started a mentorship and it didn't work out, we want you to give us another chance. So I was talking to Mila before the presentation started about sharing the playbook, your guys' playbook with our staff and providing training to them so that they understood some of the challenges a little better than before. And so Leslie also has a program where she works to help to help people that just need a different level of care than others. So we can provide additional resources. So you don't need to reapply again if you've applied before and started your mentorship, or if you decided to go, that it wasn't for you, maybe now's the time. All you need to do is email info@acp-usa.org and we'll get you set up. I think I will stop sharing now. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Tracy. Thank you so much, Leslie, for all this information. I learned definitely a lot of it, of new things about ACP. We have a question from Faduya. How does it work linking a mentor with a mentee? Are there any criteria?
If I can add to that question, I asked that question. It's something that I've always wondered about ACP's mentorship program. So, for example, I was one of the people that heard about ACP 2 years ago when I first became a military spouse. I've only been a military spouse for 3 years. And so when I heard about it, I wanted to go and honestly, I was knocking at every door that can help me land a job and figure out this job market in America. And so I heard of ACP. I actually met someone that works with ACP when I was in San Diego, and they told me about it. But then I read the word corporate, and I was like, oh, wait, I don't know if I'm corporate. But then I still went ahead and I tried to enter my information. And then I was like, wait, my experience, I guess, navigating the employment, scene at that point, I was just maybe a little frustrated, for lack of a better word, with how do I, as a foreign-born spouse, right, with graduate degree, with a career, with all of the stuff that I come with, how do I talk to someone who may not really share my path? Do you know what I mean? Like another military spouse or another corporate person that doesn't understand my frustration because I feel like I have so much to offer, but I'm not able to get there. And then so my question is, how do you put Leslie, for example, with Lydia? Like what are the criteria, if there are any criteria? And does the fact that the spouse is foreign born, does that impact the linking in any way? And thank you.
Yeah, I can speak to that. So it all starts with a phone call and getting to know you, getting to know your background, your interests, your goals, and so much goes into it. We're going to rack and stack what's important to you. So, for example, sometimes a career professional, sees into ahead in the path you're looking to go into. Perhaps they're not the best fit because you may need somebody that is returning from a pivot or somebody that's foreign born, you know what I mean? And it may be more interest in personality. But when we talk to you, it's really about digging into what's important to you. What do you want to accomplish? How, what kind of fit do you prefer? A woman, or do you have no preference? Do you prefer somebody that's military connected, or do you have no preference, right? Some are like, I want somebody completely not connected to the military so I can have a different perspective. Everybody's different. Recently we had someone and it was the career in the first couple meetings were great and they were working the career path, but then it turned out, she really just felt intimidated almost, if you will. And so we made a switch to where it was more personality. And, but again, and in my boss, Tracy and my boss will tell you the best. He's a different kind of personality than Tracy and I are. So he's like, I wouldn't be a good mentor for somebody that needs somebody patient. So others, like I have a woman veteran on the team and she's like, I want direct feedback. I want, give it to me brutal. Others might be like, don't be so rough on me. You know what I mean? So we talk through that. Like, what kind of feedback are you receptive to? Everybody's different, right? And that's all part of the conversation. So tell us 10 things. Maybe we get the top 6 or 7. So we're going to prioritize what's most important to you.
Those are great prompts, Leslie, to think about, like Lydia said, prior to doing your interview with your ACP contact, is thinking about how you like to receive feedback. Do you like gentle, direct? Just like you usually can't get one thing from every person, you can't get one thing from one organization. That's why, we're here with Foreign Board Spouse Network, and that's why we work with HHU and HOH, because we're trying to build a community component into the ACP mentorship for mil spouses, but there's already so many that exist out there, so many great ones like this one, and like others, like the Veteran Spouse Network, the Military Spouse Employment Partnership. There's a ton of them, and we can provide those resources for you.
Thank you so much. I have a question as well. You mentioned on one of your slides, you should be very clear about your needs. What happens if you have a mentee who joins, but they don't know what they want to do, where to start, what are their needs? How you approach that situation?
Go ahead,
I'll
Jen.
let
I'm
Leslie
sorry.
take this.
I missed the question. Could you repeat it again? Because I was responding to Isabel. I'm so sorry.
No worries. Yes, you mentioned that you need to be very clear on your needs and what you want to obtain from this
Oh,
mentorship, right? What
okay.
if a person needs mentorship, but they don't know what they want? What type of help they want, what type of jobs they want, or what are their needs? They're just exploring and they need help, somebody who can
Mhm.
help them. And I personally know a person who has these issues and they're like, I don't know if I can benefit from ACP because I don't know what I want.
Mm. So I would say if you're not sure what you want to do with your career, what career path, you're in the majority. 86% of those coming to us are undecided. They have no idea. So that's where we start going through. And so my mentor, she called it window shopping. She compared different jobs and we eliminated what I wouldn't be a good fit for. I have a finance degree, I have an MBA, I'm numbers, I like Cal 3 and discrete math and all this stuff. However, I'm not somebody that should be in a back room number crunching and yeah, I need my people, right? So I'm the kind of not part of that norm, like stereotypical if you think like number cruncher. I would, have to be working with people. And so talking through that um, will help with the, because so for me, it's like, okay, if I have no people interaction, remove that job. I took a great assessment. It's called Indigo assessment. I've taken every assessment on the moon. There's lots of them, but this one in particular told me for policies and like procedures and like being straight edge, if you will, right? Following the rules, we'll call it. Following the rules on a scale from 1 to 10. This girl got a 1.7. On a scale from 1 to 10, I got a 1.7. So for all these years, I was like, everybody wants to work federal. Why in the hell? Why is this so challenging? Why do I have no interest in federal? Bing! That was such a light bulb moment for me. It's because I can't follow the damn rules, right? It would be so suffocating for me. I need autonomy. I need to do things, be my own, play by my own rules. And it wasn't until I took that assessment, but it was so like uplifting because I could just say, okay, I never have to open USA jobs again. Yes, it's gonna save my time because I saw that, right? And so having somebody to help you talk through and eliminate just as much as yeah, this is a good fit for me, right? Just as much as, but anyhow, that was long-winded, super long-winded and squirrely to say you're in the majority. If you don't know what to do, you are in the majority. Most of us have not figured it out.
That is so funny because I take after Leslie. I'm a CPA, wanted nothing to do with number crunching all day long. But on the opposite side of the spectrum, I like rules. I want structure. So knowing those things and communicating those with your mentor will help you get closer to what you want to go do. We also have a lot of mentors who are career coaches and are in human resources. So they may not be specialists in a field that you're interested in, but they have a vast knowledge of the different types of roles available. So those types of people, you don't know what you don't know. And so meeting someone like that can really open up a lot of opportunities and things you'd never thought about before.
Wow. Well, thank you
It's
so
it's
much.
interesting. It's interesting what Tracy said in the chat. It's as important to know what you don't want. I get, I hear them numbers. I'm like, do not even start with numbers. Don't. Like, never ever. So I know no numbers, no this, no this. And it took me a while too to figure out, and I had to take those tests, whether it's personality test, careers, which ones to go, because there are many. So Leslie, you and I are on those like, where is it? Which test? Let's go, let's go, you know? But if you can find out too what you don't want, that helps because I can't imagine myself sitting somewhere all day and not thinking about the things that I like to think about, like right now. Don't ever box me in, hey, here is what you're supposed to do and here is what you have to do. Because we will definitely, I will be a rule breaker. You will have a hard time with me. I
Well,
will, I
you're
will.
with me on scale of 1, and Tracy's on a 10. Giselle is a 10 too. So Giselle, she's a lawyer, so a diplomat. So she's everything is rules, black and white. I'm like, I'm back swimming in the gray.
That's why Leslie gets it done.
Yeah, we are all different. So knowing your personality, knowing your strengths, your weaknesses, and how to use them to determine what direction then you should take is very, very important. Thank you, Tracy, for saying that.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you so much for hosting us today.
thank you so much. I have another question, if I may. What happens if you start mentorship and after, let's say, 5 calls, so 5 months, you realize that it's not right mentor for you? Are you still in time to change? And how this gonna is gonna are you gonna start 1 year over, or you have the 7 months left?
So I'm going to put it this way: is everything's going to be case by case. Give you an example. We had the spouse who is in school for marketing, wanted a marketing mentor, has a phenomenal mentor, and they're like thick as thieves. But she changed her mind. She wants to go to engineering. Nothing to do with marketing. But let me tell you what, she ain't giving up that mentor because they are like, that's her person. So in that situation, she's having one-off calls with other mentors in engineering because now she got to figure out which path am I going to, because she's in school, which engineering path do I really want? So she still has her marketing mentor and they're working through LinkedIn and interviews and resume, all that kind of general professional development stuff, but the specific career questions are in or one-off calls with other mentors. Now, if it's like a gelling thing, that's why you have your ACP point of contact. You let them know. Let them know it's just not working out, and then they take it from there. But everybody's a little bit different. Is it a career change? Sometimes it's like, I want to go into HR, I want to go into HR, and then they get an HR mentor and they're like, this is not what I thought it was. This, day in life is not what I thought it was. Maybe I don't want HR. I want to go ops or whatever, something different. It's going to be, the biggest thing is communicate, 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 because we're not mind readers. And the operations associates do have tools to, figure that piece out. Can't give like general answers, but it's going to be more like communicate as soon as you figure it out so that they can help you through it.
And when this change happens, if, for example, I decide to change mentor, right, and you find
Mhm.
a right fit for me, does this mentorship process year long starts all over, or I have only these remaining months to use my mentor, new mentor?
I don't know for specifically on that. I don't want you to quote me on that because I believe it is kind of like starting the clock over, but it's best to, with the actual program managers.
Okay.
And my
So that kind of
ACP
happened to me. And what they did was, because my previous mentor, he was in education, and I come from education, but he was pushing me towards education, but I wanted to move away from that. So we didn't have alignment. But when my second mentor came in, it did start like the whole year. And like what Leslie
Okay.
said, I think just communicating with your program manager is so important. Because when I kind of realized the path was not going in the way that I wanted to take my career, I told her, and she sent me resources and like supporting the conversation and trying it again and see what I was doing wrong and how I can benefit from my mentor and see if I've exhausted everything, and then jumped on to like someone else. I love both of them, but it's just a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad you stuck with it. And it's hard. I know when I was in my job search, I'm so grateful for my program manager because my mentor lost her job. Her father got ill. She quit her job, but she was unreachable for about 2 months. And I felt like she ghosted me, and I didn't reach out to my program manager soon enough. And I was really upset by it. And when Caroline reached back out to me and she said, "Can I fix this?" And I said, "I don't know. I feel like pretty dissed." And she's like, "No, don't take it personally. Like, this happened and this happened." And she's really interested in reconnecting and just feels terrible about it. And it was very healing. And I was so glad that we were able to reconnect. And the mentorship doesn't have to end after a year. I mean, she's kind of like my person now. So we stay in contact. And I encourage people once they start a job not to lose their mentor, because I think you need a mentor more than ever when you're starting a new role, and to have that outside perspective is super valuable.
I have another question. Sorry. Oh, let's first, here's a Tantaswa. Does one need to transfer the credit before they start with the mentorship, or is that not necessary?
I'm sorry, what type of credits?
School, I think
I
that's
believe probably there are when you're coming from a different country
Yeah.
to here. So do you need to have evaluated them, or do you need to have them straight up before you start?
No, that's not necessary. And as a matter of fact, if you even needed help through that process, that because the mentorship is a year long, we request an hour a month. People break it down differently. Maybe you meet more frequently. I know I do with my protege. Um, Anyhow, you have a year, so that could even be part of the process you're talking through with your mentor.
And to add on that, we are here to support you with that as well. Um, is it my CAA? Soon we'll offer those for free using that scholarship. We hope that tightens up soon. And then Upwardly Global actually offers it for free. So let's talk through whatever you need to translate your credential.
It's amazing.
That's breaking news. I love that. Lydia?
I also dropped in the chat, there's a Prepare to Launch program that 4Block sponsors, and it's about career exploration and guidance and relaunching your career, figuring out how to make that volunteer work translate into a resume for the job that you want. It's a free program. They're accepting applications now, and the cohort starts in fall. So that's the link that I put in the chat. Unfortunately, they've had some funding cuts, so their class size will be smaller this year. So if you're interested, I encourage you to apply.
Thank you so much. Thank you, both of you. If somebody already completed a 1 year long mentorship, but they don't feel 100% satisfied, are they still allowed? Can they apply for another year, or is only one time?
So I would say it depends on the situation. For example, like I was saying earlier, you want to go HR and you had an HR mentor, and then you finish the year, and then you're like, maybe even land a position, and like, this actually isn't curve for me. I want to go a different route. If you're pivoting, then yes, there needs to be some. We can't offer back to back.
Okay.
If there's been some time, what we can do though, please always email us, whether it's info or your point of contact, because we can offer one-off calls still, like even as an alum, right? As an alum, maybe I wanted to go and switch my career and go into marketing or something. I could ask for an information call with a marketing mentor, or if I was PCSing to a new location and I had no network there, I could ask, do you happen to have any mentors in San Diego that would mind talking to me as I'm moving there? Something like that. But so I would say always email and ask, right? Just like Lydia's been teaching us today about the closed mouth never gets fed. And then they will go above and beyond what they can, and then utilize the village. So ACP Village is more than just entrepreneurship tools. There's lots of resources in there, and you can even message folks that are in there. Like, you can message mentors that are in there. They may not be, an entrepreneur mentor. They may have 40 years of marketing and you're going into marketing. You can message them and ask for a call. There's lawyers in there. There's, I'm trying to think of some of the other, sales folks and tax folks like Tracy, like whomever, right? If you have, they might be somebody in that career path. My first protege, we got her figured out what she wanted to do, and man, it took us 4 months. She had some time, which was great. She had the grace of time to really process. But once we did, she was like off to the races. Now she wanted to be she's going in to be a fitness instructor, like a personal trainer type. So we went in the village because it's also like entrepreneurship, typed in fitness, and there were some spouses and they have these phenomenal web pages. She's like, that's where I'm trying to get to. That's me in 2 years, or that's me in 3 years. So guess what? We made that connection. She started talking to, how did you get there? How did you build your website? What did you use? Whatever. How do you take your business with you as you PCS? So sky's the limit. Definitely utilize. The beautiful thing about the village is it's separate from your mentorship. It doesn't run out after a year. You can do it at Isabel's on at 3 in the morning. If she wanted to build a business at 3 in the morning, she has access to the village, whenever you're building it. So even if it wasn't like you wanted a side hustle, if you will, 3 years down the line, you can start learning now while you have your main mentor. But lots of folks in there you can connect with and message. It's almost like Tracy said, kind of Reddit, also a little bit like LinkedIn, but it's safe. It's just our ecosystem filled of our volunteers.
Oh, wow, thank you so much. I definitely didn't know about this resource, and I will be
Now you
looking.
know.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Before we
Well,
finish, I'd like to say something, my dear. When we were talking to Leslie and Tracy, and the team is just awesome. If you're watching us live, listen very carefully. If you're watching this as a recording, also listen very carefully. If you have been part of ACP and there was some disconnect, there was something that prevented you from realizing the potential of this program. You might have thought, just like me when I was starting, oh my God, that is a very huge person. Or can they like be the one reaching out to me? So you cowed and you were thinking, oh, that's an authority figure. I expect that I am the junior and they're telling me what to do, you know? Or, oh my God, what am I gonna speak with them? What am I gonna say? My this is not ready. My this is not ready. Just like Tantas was like, do I need my credentials? Do I need this? I don't have it. So those made it difficult for you to take full advantage and make this program work for you like it's working for others. We have like a clean slate. And Leslie and Tracy and ACP, thank you guys so much. We have a clean slate. The something that the Frank shared before, Mila shared in the group or on our site, we asked if you would want to take this again. You have an opportunity to take it again. Please reach out. I know at least two who have already, said they're going to take it again. So please reach out and we'll be able to connect you and you'll be able to take it again. Okay, so don't feel like your time is up or now I have to go to the village only. If I were to do this again, I would do it 10 times over, except I don't know if Leslie will allow me to do that. But but please do not shy away, okay? Do not think that, oh, I wasted the opportunity. It was not wasted. Let ACP help you to redo it and help you through it. We will definitely figure out how to also support ACP mentors to learn about our community and how we look at things. We are negotiating a few. We will do a few of those things to make sure things go well. But for now, please reach out. We have an extended hand to try it again. Okay.
Thank you so much, Lydia, for this emphasizing. Thank you so much, Tracy, Leslie. Thank you for joining us tonight and for sharing all the information about American Corporate Partners. I am one of the previous mentees as well, and I absolutely love that program. Highly recommend to anybody who is looking for a new challenge, doesn't know what to do, or just if you want to build a network, as all of you already mentioned. So thank you again for being here with us tonight. Thank you for everybody who joined us tonight in this call, this event. And we're gonna have more events coming up, so stay tuned and follow our Facebook page, follow our Facebook group, our website, our LinkedIn. You can see some links that we're posting in our chat. And if you know any foreign-born military spouse who may benefit from our resources or just wants to connect and they're not a part of our Facebook page, our Facebook group, please share with them our links to our social media, and most importantly, share with them our playbook, which contains all the available resources and all the useful information which you may not know yet and you may feel lost. So please do it. Invite them to join our big community. You will be welcomed and you will be supported and seen. Okay. Now, also, your feedback means a lot to us because this is how we make sure that next event is better than the previous one. So please take a few seconds and provide us your feedback. What do you think about this event and what we can do better? And as for now, thank you so much again, and I hope you have a wonderful Friday night and amazing weekend.
Hold
Let's
on one
take a
second.
photo.
Yes, let's take a photo. Can we be on, everybody, can you try to be like on camera if you can? Tantos, were you able to get on camera? Okay, I got some. Thank you guys. And Leslie, before you drop off, you said something amazing here. Wednesday at 2 p.m. Where? Is it just online
So
or?
if you check your email, there will be a
Okay.
little coffee cup. It's from American Corporate Partners. There's a little coffee cup. I'm pulling it up so I can read you exactly what it says. It says, connect with fellow ACP mentors.
Okay.
I think
So
an
it'll be
email
in your
came out.
inbox. Yeah, it'll be in your inbox from American Corporate Partners, and there's a coffee mug in the subject line, and it says connect with fellow ACP mentors. So it is anyhow, next Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. Every room is like a different subject. You get in there, but I'd love for you, come in and educate mentors on foreign-born spouses.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. I'll be there. The moment you mention foreign born, now I'm sold. Okay, guys, thank you so much.
Hi,
Thank you.
Isabel. I'm sorry it's 3 in the
Thank you so
morning.
much.
Enjoy your weekend, y'all.
You too. Talk
Bye.
to you
Thank
soon.
you.
Bye.
Okay, just stop recording.